Limbus Company is the third game for the Lobotomy Corporation Trilogy, made by ProjectMoon Studio. This is the third game of the series. When listed, we can see that Lobotomy was the first one, released in 2018. Library was the second game, released in 2021. And in 2023, Limbus Company was released. And this is a direct sequel, apparently, to Library of Ruina. However, it's now based on new characters. In two of the games, they have the same characters like Nezatag, Yesod, Vina, Hokma, Anjana. This game takes a turn, and now we are introduced with new characters like Radion, Don Minster, I think it's called, Sinclair, Hongnu, Bast, and yeah, I must say it's really refreshing just to have new characters. Like, I understand that hardcore fans of the series would like to see like the same characters over again, but you know, it's nice, to get other new characters to come into the series. And I must say, starting off, I love the character design evolution from Lobotomy to this. It's actually really amazing to see. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting too carried away. I'm just going to talk about how my thoughts of paying Limbus Company and describe how it feels to pay the game as a user who played the first two games and compare it to see the difference and similarities. I really must say that Limbus feels like the easiest game of the trilogy when comparing to Lobotomy and Library. To describe the gameplay, I'll just show it on the screen as well. We see that Limbus copies the same aspects as Library had. Library was a combat RPG card battle game, right? You can tell that Limbus tried to copy that, but makes it limited of what users can do. For example, in Library, you can control which character attacks who. In Limbus, you cannot do that. It's like, okay, select a card, think about it, use your brain. Will this work? How to increase your odds? In Limbus, it's just swipe, drag these, and then just you will see the battle. And what makes it worse is that there's just a win rate button where it does it automatically for you, and it's the same thing for the damage button. To increase damage, it just does it automatically for you. And I know it'll probably make the hardcore fans of ProjectMoon to like be disappointed, because as for the other two, after completing a section, you'll feel accomplished because of how hard the game is. However, every stage you beat in Limbus Company, it feels like a meh. It feels like, okay, cool, okay, on to the next one. You just do not feel that same happiness or excitement when compared to the other two games. Now, I'm going to talk about some problems this game has experienced from many users. The problem is that if you played the first two games, you will never expect this game to have a gacha-like feeling type of game. Let's compare this to Honkai Impact, for example. Both of those games follow the same pattern where you have a role, you have in-game currency, you have in-app purchases, you have every time you try to enter a stage, you have this fuel-like thing you have to spend, and if you run off those, you have to wait in actual real time. And I kind of understand why when people saw this, the first thing they played the game, why they would hate it, because they feel like this game would be pay-to-win type of game. However, in defense, I really want to say is that this game is probably the most friendliest free-to-play gacha game of all time. I haven't spent any actual money in this game, and you will actually feel the same experience as players who actually paid like some stuff for the game. Both parties will experience the same thing, of course. And like, if you do not want to spend money, that's completely fine. That's actually just fine. You can just play the game normally without even spending a single money. However, I do understand why ProjectMoon has to do this. If you do not know, this studio is an indie studio, and they have to pay their devs no matter some time, right? If you're making the game free, they're not making any profit from that. So if they go to make the game free, which they did, they have to add some purchases that people have to buy in order to, pay the devs, make more updates, invest in bigger projects, for example. And so they just have to do it. And you have to admit it, you cannot hate them for that. And when I said that they have to make the game easier, well, I feel like they have to make the game easier just to get a larger audience. You can tell by these stats shown on the screen that definitely Limbus Company had more visits and more total users in general when compared to the other two games. And so with this large audience, you want to make sure that the game is the most friendliest for them, and how it feels like the lore of Limbus is a bit not in depth when compared to the other games, because they want to make it the most friendliest for the new players, to gain attraction, attention, it's how they have to do it. And I understand why they actually have to do it. At the end, playing this game, you're just playing here for the story, isn't it? You're not playing for anything else. And I feel like the story is still marvelous when compared to the other two games. Yes, you do not have the same characters as before, but you still feel a connection between, you know, you and these characters, and how the story develops from events in Lobotomy or Library. This game doesn't deserve much hate that it's receiving currently. However, I do understand why peers would just do not like this game, and I'm not going to change your mind. However, that doesn't mean that should make you stop playing the game. I definitely recommend playing this game. And for new players, I definitely recommend trying this out. For the new users who don't know about Lobotomy, help you uncover what you can experience about learning the story and the lore. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. TLDR, you should try the game out. The game is actually kind of fun, and the story is actually quite amazing too. It may not have the same feeling as of Lobotomy or Library, but trust me, it's still worth it, alright? To play the game for the story, believe me. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video